Hi, my name is Clara Pokorski, and today I'm going to talk about the introduction of technology in music and how the evolution of society has changed the way that we are able to listen to and the current trends of music, and whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. Music's been a part of human culture for ages and is constantly evolving. With that, the way that music is being distributed and played is changing as well. Technology has taken over our society the past couple of decades and given people more of an opportunity to make and listen to music. However, there are concerns with piracy and stolen content that tend to come with the involvement of technology. This presentation will go over some of the pros and cons to the integration of technology into the music industry. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the evolution and changing of the music delivery. Music's been around for as long as we can remember, whether that was through humming babies to sleep or going to church and hearing hymns to the invention of the radio. There have been many different forms of music delivery that have given us the ability to reach more audiences and create new styles. Originally, when you had to listen to music, it was through your parents or friends or family humming or creating melodies, and they had to sing and remember what was being said. What happened was we invented sheet music, whereas piano and certain music was written into letters, and we were able to uh, form ways of making other people accessible to this type of music. Eventually, things were able to be recorded on wax cylinders and then records and vinyls. 8 tracks and cassette tapes, as well as Walkmans, made it able to have music portable as well as keep music for ourselves personally. CDs were invented where we were able to burn separate songs all onto one spot, and we were able to take that and put it in the cars, as well as radios and stereo systems. And then websites were invented where you were able to buy songs individually, no matter where you were and what you were doing, and you were able to access those songs. And now we have streaming services and apps that give us the ability to pay $10.99 a month, and we're given access to as many songs as we can think of, as well as the ability to download them and listen to them when we have no service, whether that's on a plane or a drive. So music's become entirely way more accessible through the evolution of technology. Another thing that's changed has been the music industry and the way that the industry is created. Napster and iTunes changed a huge narrative around music. Instead of each decade's music change and renewal being driven by fresh artists and movements, it became more focused on new delivery mechanisms. The 70s got punk rock, 90s got Spotify, and we were able to talk about the fact that rather than the trends of music shifting the influence on society, the creation of certain streaming and website services have made the market into more of an investment game for music producers. Back in the day, producers had to find the next big thing to put all their money into, one up and coming artist that would make it big and have the ability to sign a while now they have the ability to sign a bunch of artists that are already established without the risk of losing everything on an up and coming artist. This gives us the ability to invest in smaller amounts of larger, well known musicians and not have to put everything in and bank on one new artist. And it also helps that we're now able to self um we're able to self promote and um invest in individual people through the ability of certain websites. But I'll talk about that more in a later slide. So another thing I want to talk about is like legacy and how we're able to listen to certain songs that we might not have been able to before. Um, Artists are another evolutionary piece of the industry. Composers like Mozart, Bach, and Barreau were all able to create sheet music that have been passed down and played for centuries. People learn to play their music on piano still, and other artists take from similar melodies and harmonies. When people make music and move, oh, When people make music and move on, technology has given us the ability to still enjoy their music and listen to it even after their career ends or they pass away. A great example is the Beatles. Two of four members have already passed away, and yet their music is still being listened to by 36.6 million listeners. They also still have music being sold and streamed to this day. Another form of evolution in the music industry with technology is how style and genres have been influenced by the ability to reach new places. Tracing back to the Beatles, I want to talk about the fact that through the evolution of technology and music, they were able to influence different music styles. Because they were able to reach many places we weren't able to before. Music from India can now be played in China, as well as music from China can now be played in India. Through this, music has evolved and been able to take influence from other artists and other genres, which has given us the ability to create new genres. The Beatles had an Asian influence on their music, taking from artists like Nakamura and Kanianu. Country music was a blend of Irish folk music, popular music, and cowboy tales. Current genres we have today have been influenced by several different styles of music. We wouldn't have this today if it weren't for the ability to hear different music from different places. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how technology has influenced emerging artists. Self made artists are something I really wanted to talk about first, and that is because we have the ability to market for ourselves now. Originally, we needed to have an education and we needed to know how to play music. Now we have forms like GarageBand that are able to put beats together and we can create lyrics to go along with it, and we have a song. This has become very popular within the past couple years with social media, especially TikTok. It's gotten a lot of new artists' names out there and the ability to give them a, a, a career for themselves based off platforms like Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, or SoundCloud. Many people don't need to have a marketing company anymore because of this. And because of that, the producing and the production companies will now invest in a lot of smaller artists or already self made artists. Um, Zach Bryan's a really great example of this. He started making music in his basement and put it on YouTube. And then eventually it took off. Now he has millions of listeners that come to his shows and they download his music. Almost every one of his concerts are sold out, and he is self-made. He started by recording a couple songs that he wrote in his basement. So the ability to produce music on our own and be able to share that through social media has definitely changed the game. Now, let's talk about the risk and the consequences of technology. Piracy is way easier now than it's ever been. The ability to steal other people's music through sharing YouTube videos or just copying certain songs and reestablishing them as your own. If you change two words in a song, technically you don't have a patent to that song. It's more prominent. It was more prominent in the iTunes era. A lot of people would find ways to um, pirate songs without having to pay for them. Back when songs were 1.99 a piece, consumers didn't want to pay for each song, so they would go and they would be able to listen to the whole album rather than have to pay for each song. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not here anymore and that we don't have piracy because now we have streaming services. It has changed, I would say. A lot of video making content and a lot of websites still don't allow licensing with certain songs. So people have gotten around it through being able to record over their videos and play those songs. I know a couple kids myself that have um, played music over their videos and then posted them on certain social medias. So, in conclusion, I just wanted to say that technology has definitely been for the better and given us the ability to create and evolve with music. We're able to listen to new artists and find new up and coming singers and bands, as well as get a lot of old artists and listen to their music. It also gives us the ability to let those songs live on and listen to a lot of new music and create new music because of it. So, um, I would say that the evolution of technology in regards to music far outweighs the risk. And there's my works cited.